Hello Bullet fam and welcome back to another bullet journal video. Today I'm going to flip through my 6th bullet journal. I completed this bullet journal in August and I had such a great time with it. So this is a Dingbat notebook for those of you who may not be aware of this company, and it's a great company. I did a video review about this journal when I actually got it for the first time. So if you want to get more practical information about the journal itself, go check that video out. Dingbat produces high quality 100% plant based journals. As you can see here from the cover, that's an animal, that's a deer. They are all pro-animal, pro-life, pro-nature. Their journals are absolutely beautiful. All right, let's just dive into it, shall we? So first of all, I personalized a little bit the very first page here. As you can see, I added some stickers here that are from my friend Caitlin over Sunshine Stationery because she's the nicest person ever. And this pocket here was made by Caitlin too, and I used this pocket to keep my tabs. Whoops. You'll see that I used a lot of tabs. I love using tabs to keep track of certain pages here in my journal. So you can see here from the side, I do prefer using tabs instead of a regular index right now. I also had this cute little thing that Caitlin made for me, and as you can see here, basically you can put it like on any page and use the sticky notes here to write things down. So it's a cute little thing that I may actually have to, move to my new bullet journal at some point. Some personal information that I'm not gonna show, and we dive directly into the journal. So the very first thing that I used here was this tab that I got in Italy. I used it to keep track of my ongoing projects. One of the great things about this tab that I attached to the journal with some washi tape is that I could move my ongoing project list from here to any random page within the journal, which was so useful. And this can be used for a variety of things actually. So if you have a list of things that you want to always have a look at, just put it on a separate sheet, attach it this way, and use it as a movable thing. On this side, I have this beautiful 2018 calendar sticker from G Creas. Go check her out on Instagram. She also has a sticker shop and her stickers are beautiful. As you can see here, it's golden and it reflects light. Very beautiful. Next here, I had my March to August Calendex. You guys left so many comments about a separate Calendex video. There is going to be a video only focused on the Calendex and how I use it. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Next, I had my future log that I always use with the Calendex together to better organize my future events. Then my savings spread, as you can see here, I kept 2 pages because I actually wanted to do kind of like a monthly overview, but I ended up not doing it, so I left the page blank, but I did that in my new bullet journal. And if you haven't seen it already, go check out my new bullet journal setup video that I put up on the channel last week. Moving on, I have here some social media related spread, and basically this first page, social media here, was for me to set up certain goals in terms of Instagram followers and YouTube subscribers, but I didn't really use it because during the summer I couldn't really focus on YouTube, and since I was in Brazil, it was hard for me to be very active on my social media. But basically I had 2 areas, one for Instagram and one for YouTube. The first 2 columns were for me to check how many followers and subscribers I had at the beginning and at the end of the month, and the last numbers here were the goals for the month. And right now I actually stopped giving myself follower goals. I'd rather just focus on the quality of the content that I put online, and if what I do is good and people enjoy that, they'll subscribe, they'll follow, and If they don't, whatever, who cares? On this other side, I had an Instagram follower page, and since we got more than 75,000 on Instagram, I colored all the spread in, which is great. The next page is a class information and grades spread that I have already showed you guys in a couple of other videos. Here, basically, I just had a description of all the classes, the teacher, and all of that. And here, you know, a general overview of all the exams. As you can see here, I ended up not actually filling in the grade part for all of the exams, but I passed all of them. One of these days, I should actually go look at the grades that I got and put them here so that, you know, if I want to go back here, I know like how well I performed on all of these exams. Here we have the movie tracker. I loved using this spread. Basically, as you can see here, I put always the day, the movie that I watched, and my personal rating, and it's such a fun page to have. I'm having another one in my new bullet journal, and since I have a card, a movie card here in Paris, I can go to the movies as many times as I want every month. So I do go to the movies pretty often. So that's why I started this movie tracker. Next here, I had set up 2 ultimate productivity challenge, one focused on productivity itself and another one that was only for self-care. As you can see here, I was actually pretty productive. I didn't finish the ultimate productivity challenge by the 31st of May, but I was getting pretty close. So I was very proud of myself for actually being that productive. As we see here, I didn't actually put a reward because I felt like I didn't really need it. The fact of already coloring all the boxes in was pushing me forward. I was feeling satisfied by that, but I do recommend, if you set up your own ultimate productivity challenge, to actually choose a reward before you start the challenge. Here I wasn't as productive in my self-care challenge because this year, 2018, the last semester was so hard. I had so much that I had to work on, so I sometimes just put my self-care on kind of like a second level. I really enjoyed having this spread though. If you want to have more information about the Ultimate Productivity Challenge, I filmed the video a while ago about the spread, how it works, so go check that out because I explain in details how the challenge works. The next spread here is a mental health care page. So you can see it's called Just Stop the Drama, and basically what I did is that whenever I was feeling very stressful, I took this page, I sat down, put the date, and wrote down what was going on. It's always so helpful for me to write things down, and whenever I read back, I realize how unnecessary the drama was and how I was stressing out about things that, you know, don't really deserve my energy and my time. So if you find yourself stressing out a lot, do consider having this page. If you don't use it, then, you know, that's good. But if you're in that mode and you're feeling very stressful, it's good to know that you have a place within your journal where you can put your thoughts on and that can actually help you go through a stressful time. Next, we jump directly into March, and I want to show you here, guys, the tab system that I used. So the red is for the month. So I have March, April, May, June, etc. The green tab here, which actually looks yellow on camera, is for finances, all of my finances pages. The blue tabs here were for university related spreads, so I have a study plan here, another mid-semester plan, etc. The yellow was for all of my productivity related spread, so that's here, my productivity challenges. And the orange, if I'm not wrong, was for social media. So jumping into March, I always start with a nice welcome page, super simple. Then my month log that you've guys seen a lot. I really enjoy this calendar view with an events section on the side so that it's easy for me to log things in and go back to the month log and I know what's going on. Next, I had my memories plus gratitude combo, which is something that I love doing so much. I've been doing this memories plus gratitude for probably a year, and these are some of my favorite pages. So you can see very easy, I just log in stuff as I go through the month, and then we jump directly into my first weekly spread. This weekly spread format is the one that I used for months because it was working just so well for me. On the first page I have the month, a mini calendar, and 6 boxes for the first days of the week and then the weekend, and I would just log in things that would come up that week. And on the other page I have a to-do list, a meal section where I actually put in how much money I spend for every single meal, then my quality tracker down here, and a small review of the week. I did do some small variation of this weekly spread, but that's what I used for the most part in this journal. Next, I have a study plan for university, pretty easy. I have a list of all of the work that I have to do according to the different subjects. This page here was for me to work on my Korean, but this semester was just so crazy that I didn't really work on my Korean like at all. So that's a page that stayed mainly blank. The numbers refer to the Talk to Me in Korean course for those who are interested. Next, I have another weekly spread. As you can see, it's the same format. And some dailies here, pretty easy. You know, I put the day and just the different entries. Here I had some fun, you know, coloring a little bit. So this weekly spread looks kind of different, and it was a complete failure. It's from the 10-minute system, which, if I'm not wrong, is a Korean system. I got the idea from Procrastinate Create. Go check her out, she's great. She has a great YouTube channel as well. So basically what you have here is a vision of the whole day, and each hour is divided into 10 minutes, and you color it in as you go through the day according to what you do. So the idea was very good. I really wanted to try it out, but for some reasons it just did not work well for me. Go check Procrastinate Create out if you want to have more information about this 10-minute spread. A new weekly spread here with the same format, same dailies. Another weekly, as you can see, March, I had very similar weeklies. Here I have my mid-semester action plan spread that I talked about in my productivity video. I'm gonna leave the link up here. This was for me to have a global overview of the semester and where I was going and what I had to work on every single week. One extra weekly from March, another study plan. I really enjoy this format. Again, subject and the workload with a small quote down here. Here at the end of October, I had a very long weekend, so I did a whole page for a weekend plan of what I had to do on every single day. And then the month of March is over. So as you can see, I only did weeklies and sometimes dailies with some lists, and I thought that that setup was working very well for me. I was feeling very productive that month. April, I'm gonna go through real quick since it's pretty similar. As you can see, I went for a different color scheme, but it's the same format with the calendar in the events here, memories plus gratitude. Here I have my projects overview spread, which is the one that worked so well for me. Again, you can find a description of how the spread works in the projects video. First weekly of April, and I went for the same layout. Basically what I changed is the colors and the washes every week. Here again, I had another action plan for these 4 days so that I knew what I wanted to do on every single day. And you know, it helps me sometimes to do these kind of pages if I have some extra free time and I really want to plan that out. Here, after reaching 75K on Instagram, I did a new Instagram follower tracker up to 100K. It's not updated, and I'm so excited to be so close to 100K. I still can't believe it. And yeah, it's just a fun extra page to have. Here we have another weekly from April with the same format, another action plan page. It's just some boxes and things that I have to do on every single day. And the month of April is over. As you can see here, I probably wanted to have something like by April, but I never did it and just left it like that. And we jump directly into May. As you can see, all of the months look pretty similar because I had quite a stressful semester, so I wasn't really innovating that much in terms of bullet journaling, and I just kept the setup similar from one month to the other. Same calendar plus events page, but I changed the colors again. Memories plus gratitude. And here we have the first week of May, in which I tried to experiment a little bit with some stickers, and instead of having a washi tape, as I did for basically every single week, I was using some brushes and doing some decorations here with some flowers, you know, to change things a little bit. This weekly was for my review week, and this review week was so intense, and I was so glad to have this spread here to organize things. It really helped me a lot during the review week and the exams week too. Exams week was pretty crazy, pretty tough, but I made it, and it really helped me to, you know, have this space to pre-plan for those 2 weeks everything that was coming up. Here, as you can see, for the exam week, I used some red to highlight the exams that I had each day, and I put the place and I put the time, so that was really helpful, and that's something that I actually set up weeks before. I set this weekly spread, I'd say at least 2 weeks before the exams, because I really wanted to be ready, and I was ready. Once the exams were over, I did here a long to-do list. I loved doing this, and it was so helpful, and I really love the format. It's pretty easy, as you can see here, but I liked this effect with the colors, with the my liners that I used. Then after the exams, I finally had some extra time to work on my journal, be creative, and that's how I came up with this rainbow weekly, which was so fun to make. As you can see here, I have some mosaic effect that I did with some crayons. Each day has a different color. I put the number within the box, which was something new for me. I did this faux washi effect with some brushes and putting some flowers over it, which looks so nice. I tried some sort of running list thing here, which didn't really work, but I had fun making it at least. I also used some stickers, and yeah, this has to be one of my favorite weekly spreads ever. After that, I went to a way simpler weekly spread, and this is when I moved to Brazil, and that week was pretty crazy. That's why I didn't really use it. So you can see here at the end of May, I put as a quote, "This was intense," which perfectly describes the month. And I will jump into June. So June was the month where I really had that extra time to work on my journal, try new things and be creative and all of that. So the calendar and the events are similar, but I tried using some warmer colors. I have here the gratitude log, but I don't have the memories page because I really wanted to have more than one page for my memories, since that was my first time in Brazil and I knew that I was gonna write a lot about Brazil. Here I tried having a habit tracker, which didn't really work, to be honest, but I really like the design that I went for. So it's basically a horizontal vertical tracker. You could say it this way, but I actually used it this way, and it was pretty easy to set up. I just put different lines with different colors, and here I have the habits that I was tracking. The days are here, and I was just putting dots whenever I actually did the things that, you know, I wanted to do. Moving on, you'll see 2 pages that I was very excited to use, but I ended up not using, which is such a shame, but you know, life happens. So the first one was Brasilia Top 10. I was in Brasilia, and I wanted to see like the top 10 things in Brasilia. And then as I got to Brazil, things started getting so overwhelming, and I actually visited Brasilia, so I'm sure that like the top 10 things, I visited those, but I just ended up not filling the spread. Same with 1 word a day. So I was learning Portuguese there, and one of the hard things with the 1 word a day was actually to choose 1 word, because I was studying a ton of Portuguese. So I had, of course, more than 1 word per day. I ended up just not feeling it. Next are some memories pages that I'm not going to show you guys. I did some, regular journaling. Next is my finances spread. In Brazil, I always logged in all the money that I used. And if you want to have more information about this spread, I actually filmed a finances tracking video a while ago that I'm going to reference up here. Next is the first weekly spread from June that I didn't really use because I was still adjusting to Brasilia, but there it is. Then some very easy dailies here, nothing special. And then, as you'll see here, there is a collection of pages that I did because I had extra time and I wanted to have fun and try something different with my journal. So here this page was for the gay pride. I used the same faux rainbow washi that I did for my weekly by using some colors and drawing some flowers, and I love how it turned out. Here I do this page for some Instagram content. It was some of my ideas about how to be more self-confident, and if you want, you can read them through. Here I have some other pages in the same fashion, one about some bad habits that I really need to quit, and one about some ways to distress, as you can see here. Moving on, this is another weekly spread from June, and this is actually a very simplified version of the weekly spread that I used in the previous months. I just have boxes with the things that I did, basically. The page that you can see here is the very first productivity level board. That's when I came up with the idea. Don't worry guys, there is going to be an explanatory video about the productivity level board very soon, but basically I use some doodles to keep track of what I do on every single day, and the more productive I am, the more things I do and the more doodles I put in. And down here I had a quick description of all of the different doodles that I used and what they meant, so it's easy for me to know what I did on every single day. On this side I drew a spread and video ideas because I was, starting collecting some ideas for my comeback to YouTube. The next weekly spread here is the first of a collection of building inspired weekly spreads, and this has to be one of my favorite weekly spreads of all time. It's a pagoda inspired weekly spread, and this pagoda style was actually inspired by this washi tape. I got this washi tape from the washi tape shop, and it's a beautiful Asian style washi tape, and I had this idea of having a pagoda weekly and that each floor of the pagoda would be a day. So as we have a look here, so this is Monday, this is Tuesday, this is Wednesday, this is Thursday, and so on. Here I put in how much money I spend on every single meal. These ones here are the goals for the day, and whenever I achieved the goal, I would color it in. And this lantern here was colored in terms of how productive I was. So green means that I was very productive, yellow means that I was like a little less productive, and red is the worst, and orange is between red. I also had some fun drawing the pagoda, adding doodles here, adding bamboo down there, and it was such a great creative time. Then we are done with June and we jump directly into July, which was a very creative month as well. Here my July 2018 month log is completely different, and I actually didn't really use it as a month log per se, but more as a way for me to log memories in. I didn't really use it as much as I wanted to, but the idea was to write down something every single day about what happened. July was actually a pretty busy month because I was working for my internship, so I didn't really have a lot of things going on compared to June and August. Next is my productivity level board, but this one time I have a bigger spread for the whole month. One weekly from July that I actually hated. I did not like it and I barely used it because whenever I don't like something, I just can't help myself to use it. The finances spread from July. This is a nice spread that I set up, which is mushroom themed. I know it's very random, right? Mushrooms right in the middle of summer. I used this spread to have a clear idea of what I wanted to do with my new bullet journal. So here I had different sections for things that I wanted to keep in my new bullet journal, things that I wanted to improve, things that I wanted to discard, and new things that I wanted to try out. So when I actually started working on my new journal, I already had a starting point here. Next, I have another of these habits page, and these ones are some good habits that I'd like to implement. Here I had a blank page and I decided to put a quote that I really like. It goes, "All doors are open to you, only fear can block your path." And I really like this quote. Here I did a washy swatch because I just wanted to have some fun, some creative time. And here we have my second building weekly spread, and this one time this was a castle weekly spread, and I decided to go for blue because why not, right? I really enjoyed drawing this weekly spread. And as you can see here, I added some doodles here and there, and I had fun coloring the spread. And I actually came up with the idea of the castle inspired by this washi here because it just reminded me of decorations in a castle, if that makes sense. Next, I have a projects overview spread that I didn't really use, to be honest, but this was based on the other projects overview. Now, the problem with this spread is that I had planned to go to Ecuador at a certain time, but then I lost my flight. So everything that I got planned for actually had to be changed. So this projects overview spread wasn't really useful at that point. This is the third and last building weekly spread that I did, and this one time I wanted to go for a flower house. Now at first I wanted to go crazy and like draw all of the flowers, but I ended up doing not even doodles, they're like stylized flowers, and I really like how this turned out. Now as you can see here, I didn't really use this weekly spread because I was probably busy working, but I really had a lot of fun drawing the spread. I also added some details here and there, like the balcony and the flowers here. After that, I have a quick list of stuff that I'm stressing about, and that's good because sometimes I get overwhelmed by life, so it's good for me to write that down. Some dailies, and as you can see here, I was doodling because I was feeling pretty stressed toward the end of the month, and so doodling really helped me with that. Next, we have our August setup, and I did change quite some things in August. So as you can see here, my month log looks completely different. I have a smaller calendar with some upcoming events down here, some goals for the months, and a quick finances overview. I had my productivity level board, but I didn't really use it here because I was away in Ecuador on vacation and I wasn't really being productive. I was just resting. So it actually makes sense. Finances spread from August, some memories here. Now it's very bad that I didn't actually do the memories here, but I was happy to fill this part. And towards the end of the month, it was crazy because I was leaving Brazil. So I had so many things to do, and I ended up not writing the memories section here for the last days, but you know, it's okay, life happens. And here I have something new. I tried doing a weekly / dailies, and what I did is that I just put here a mini calendar with some goals, priorities, and then I jumped directly into the dailies, and I really enjoyed this format. I also had some lists of some of the projects that I was working on, and this worked so well for me, and I'm actually still keeping this kind of like weekly plus dailies in my new bullet journal as well. Here I had a list of some stuff that I had to read during the summer for the master that I'm currently doing, and this was so useful. The highlighted chapters are the chapter that I actually read, and the ones that are not highlighted are the ones that I still have to read. New weekly / daily here with the same format, and then I did some journaling here, and that's where we end. As you can see here, I only had a couple of pages left in the journal, and the last pages here were just for me to try some pens out. Now here, guys, as you'll notice, I have this extra guy, which is my bullet journal sidekick that I was so happy to use, happy to have within the journal. This is a handmade notebook that my friend Caitlin made for me. I'm so grateful to have Caitlin. I swear she's the nicest person ever. And I'm gonna flip through real quick, but basically I used it to jot down some ideas for my bullet journal, my social media, and it was just very good to have this in my journal because sometimes I don't really want to mess with my journal. So this is a place where I can write whatever, and that, you know, I can be messy here. I can use this to draw ideas, draw new spreads. So that's what I use this for. Nothing very fancy, as you can see, but yeah, I used almost the entirety of it. As you can see, I was planning a little bit for my new weekly here, and yeah, it's also good for doing brainstorms and all of that. Overall, I had an awesome time with this journal. It was very useful for me. I felt that it really helped me stay more productive. I had a lot of fun with the new spreads and trying more creative things. Also, I would really like to highlight the quality of the journal. I was at some point afraid that the pages would come out since they're all perforated, but that never happened. So if you are concerned about that, that's definitely not a problem with the dingbats. Also, the pen loop worked very well. It did not come out like in the Scribbles That Matter, for example, and I used it so much, and that's actually something that I'm missing in my new bullet journal. So yeah, guys, I hope that you enjoyed the video. Hopefully it won't be too long. So let me know in a comment down below what your thoughts are about this video, and yeah, I hope that you all have a great day, and as usual, stay boosted.